On this episode of Game Shack, I'm going to give you 3 easy ways to upgrade your stock joysticks on your Arcade1up, AtGames, or iiRcade joysticks, but without replacing them. Best of all, you can do all 3 for under $30. Coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack. I am your host, JDV. Thanks for stopping by. It really does mean a lot to us. Okay, so this episode is just going to be a real quick kind of DIY type of thing. No, I'm not anything like a pro player or anything like that, so your mileage might vary, but for just simple everyday use, I think that the incorporated joysticks in all 3 manufacturers' games are usually enough to get the job done. However, you can upgrade the experience that you have on those machines really by doing just 3 simple things. Each of which costs, I don't know, maybe $7 to $8 each. It's not very expensive, any one of these things. Now, you may want to choose 1, 2, or all 3 of these suggestions. Anyway, I'm going to be doing this on the AtGames machine, but again, you should be able to use all of these techniques on the either 2 manufacturers' games as well. All right, the 3 easy, basic ways that you can upgrade your stock joystick are by replacing the stock springs that come with it. Here are 2 heavier duty 6-pound springs, putting on a different cone type ball top to replace the ball top on the joystick, and potentially using a 4-way gate if you want to play games like Burger Time, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, games like that, games that really do benefit from being restricted to only going up, down, and left and right. So here I'm just taking off the panel. Now I have the Gen 1 ALU, so it might be a little easier to do this if you have a Gen 2. Of course, it's very easy with an Arcade1up machine. There's just a little plastic protector case on that, and I haven't tried to take apart my iiRcade that yet, other than when I put it together, so I really don't know how hard it would be for an iiRcade. Again, I think these stock joysticks on all 3 basic models or makes, however you want to say it, are decent. Oh, we still got 1 more left. There's always one troublesome screw, isn't there? And there we go. Okay, whoa. Here we go. Mostly here at this joystick, you'll see that it is a 4-way gate. Now, I thought that the joysticks on the ALU were 8-way gates. So this is already a little bit of a learning experience for me. Now it might, again, this is a Gen 1 machine. Your Gen 2 machine may well have an 8-gate restrictor plate in there. And this might be why I am not able to do my Hadoukens and other type of Street Fighter type moves on this machine, because it has a 4-way gate. All right, if you look right here, this is the top of the control panel. This is the back of the control panel. And if you see here, you see how it's square right there? That is not ideal for 4-way games like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Burger Time, things like that. So if you wanted to mostly play that type of game where you're only going up, down, left, and right, you would want to take this out, just pinch in those 4 things, lift it up, turn it one quarter of a turn. So you want it like that. If you want to play games like Burger Time, Miss Pac-Man, games where you just want to go left, right, up, and down. There's one other little tip if you're wanting that 4-way experience. So if you notice you put it on diagonal sides, pointy sides, up, down, left, right, well, they won't fit in there, right? So they won't clip on. I say, well, how you do it? Well, you can rotate this. There's 2 little pinchy bits here. I'll give you a little close-up of this here. So here's your normal gate. All right, this slips out of the back, and if you push it up, see there? That way, that's how you turn it. Now it's ready to go. Just experiment with them. They're like $6, $7 on Amazon right now, so if you break it or whatever, it's not a giant deal, but there you go. On the AtGames, you'll see that there's a screw. Now this is a screw keeping the ball top and the spring locked into place. If you notice, it'll just spin all on its own if you don't give it some pressure. So I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to hold on to the ball top. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that right here. Okay, easy killer. And then undo this. Just one quick little twistaroo. And it comes pretty easy. Okay. So here's what you should pull off. Old ball top and these two little guys here. But I'm not going to screw it right back on yet because I bought these 6-pound springs off of Amazon for I think $6, something like that. That should help the spring in here. Okay, we'll pull that aside. Hopefully you can pick this up. But there is a tiny little horseshoe ring here. So removing this horseshoe collar from this is probably the hardest thing. I'm not sure if you can see, but there are little indentations all around this ring that you can get a really small screwdriver into. And there you go. And then that comes out and then boom. Okay, so here's the joystick rod, which will pop right out just as soon as you remove that guy. And you can see that there are little indentations there that you can get a very small little jeweler screwdriver into. Okay, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. Okay, so now I just remove that spring and put in this heavier spring. At least in theory it's heavy. Let me see. So let's see if we can see that. Oh yeah, this is definitely, the new spring is definitely a little beefier. I think you can even tell in that video there that the wire's just a little thinner in the stock. So I'm gonna put that spring right back on. I'll have links for this down below. All right, so just in case this guy falls off, all right, so there's the slotted. You'll put the more roundy edge up, okay? You're gonna put that through the hole. All right, this should move fairly freely. If it doesn't, you know you've got it in backwards. Okay, so basically there you go. Now you have the little top hat, I call it. That piece goes on, right? Then your replacement spring, then the taller hat part, and then lastly, the little coupling horseshoe gadget that locks it all into place. And this is by far the most difficult part of this process, because the parts are little and there's a spring involved, so there's tension, and it's about 1,000 degrees outside as I do this, so almost got it. See, it's almost done there. Okay. There we go. Nice click sound. You should hear that sound. It's done it for me the few times I've done this now. All right, so check it. It moves around. It's a little bit stiffer in the position there. All right, everything looks good so far. All right, now we're going to replace this, or put it back again. The wiring aims towards the front, or you know, kind of where you would stand. And then lastly, let's go ahead and put in a restrictor gate. All right, so I have actually replaced the 4 restrictor gates because I had I had 2 new 4-way ones that we can put in. So that should help. All right, let's give it a final. Okay, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and flip it over again. Okay. Okay, so I flipped it over, and you should have a little washer there. It might have fallen off. It's no big deal if it did. Doesn't really affect anything. Okay. Then replace that washer. Get that down. Now you put on the 2 larger washers. And again, just pinching this, right? You can get it most of the way there. All right, so let's flip it back over. Okay, so now, again, you'll grab the cone top and you'll just turn it. You could also use a screwdriver if you want to do this. And just kind of make it tight. Okay, that looks good. One other quick note, be sure that this kind of soldery looking stuff is on the bottom, all right? And then these 4 black gates are on the top, and again, the wires are aimed towards the front. You put that in, put in your gate, and now you're ready to roll. You should be able to see both new gates. Okay, now I just got to put everything back together, put in the screws, and rewire everything, and we'll be ready to roll. So we're back into place. All right, so I'm going to play Street Fighter using the AtGames Legends Flashback, which has a very good version of it on there, and you just put it in the old HDMI, put it here. Now normally I have it mounted off to the side, but we're just going to have it hanging loose right now. Okay, hit this twice. And let's see if these new upgrades have done anything in terms of playability here. So again, you can get these ball tops in different colors if you want to. You should be able to see the screen here. I'll just scroll over to Street Fighter. Now, it's not going to play quite as wonderfully as I wanted it to because I thought this thing had 8-way gates. It doesn't. It has 4-way, but at least it has 2 new 4-way gates. All right, let's check it out. I said the joysticks are definitely a little easier to maneuver with this style of joystick head, and the springs, I think, do help make it a little bit more responsive. I still have a hard time doing super moves using this gate though. How are you not stunned? Anyway, not bad. Took me about an hour to get it all apart and put everything back in. And that was with me, videotaping and, messing around with the lights and everything like that. So figure about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, taking your time. In terms of replacing the ball tops with the cone style fighter stick top to the joystick, you can get a whole bunch of different colors. I just picked black because I thought it matched well, but you can get red, blue, you can get kits that have different colors, you can get translucents. Heck, I think you can even get LED light up ones. I just got the cheapest ones I could find for $8 or $9. Again, I'll have links down below, but anyway, you do have some choices in terms of what type of top you do replace these things with. Again, you ought to be able to buy all of this stuff for $30 as I record this from Amazon, and I'll have some links down below to the parts I used. And when I do put in those 8-way restrictor gates back in here, I'll do a quick video on that too. Okay, so that's it. 3 basically pretty easy ways that you can increase the performance on your stock joystick without having to do any sort of replacement. If you guys have any other kind of cheap and easy suggestions that will add to the experience on any 3 of these machines, go ahead and please let me know down below. If you like this sort of content, and give me a thumbs up on the way out the door. It does help this channel keep going. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Love each other. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah!
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.